Hi everyone and welcome back. In this section we're just going to keep working on that arm that we started off with in the last section, and we're going to make our elbow joint. And it should be pretty simple. First thing we're going to do is we're going to do things a little bit differently, just to show you an alternate way of making circles and things like that. We're going to go create NURBS primitives. We're going to create a circle. So we have our little circle here. We're going to duplicate that circle once. And we're going to make it a little bit smaller. Drop it to about there. Shift select both. And we're going to go to our Surfaces tab and Loft. Shift select, delete the old little lines. So that way you're just left with the NURBS. And then you're going to go Modify, Convert. So now we're back into what we're used to. So we're going to convert. Here's the polys. Delete. I'm going to grab the inner two most hulls, or not hulls now, but vertices. So right click, select vertex. I'm just going to grab these little guys right here. And we're just going to shrink in just a little bit. We're not going to close the circle, we're just going to shrink it in. 8. Now, we're going to make this a little bit wider. So we're going to extrude. Frame, not front or side view, whatever you like. 1, G, 2, and 3. So you have something that looks similar to that. Now we need to make the extruding part pop out. Again, very easy, very simple to do most of the time. Depending on how wide you want, or if you want it to have an indent inside. Really depends on you. We're just going to grab these two little faces, just like we've done before. We're going to bring in just a little bit, and push that in just a little bit like that. Hit G to repeat, and now we're going to start pulling this forward. See what I'm making? Making a longer arm section, and we can straighten that right out up front there now. Hit G. Let's bring that out a little bit like that. So we're going to duplicate this one more time. Duplicate. Center pivot. Rotate that 180 degrees. This little guy's going to come over here. And he's going to sit on top. Now we can make these guys a little bit smaller if you want. And then you're going to duplicate again. And this little guy's going to sit just underneath. So see how we made a joint. So now you can grab the sphere. And to your top view. You can center it. Scale it. Push it out. Grab the outside parts of your NURBS here. Squish that back in. Actually, we'll go like this. Now we'll just grab the outside ones now. You can center it on this area. Yeah, add some isoparms. One around here. And one around here. Insert. Grab those middle little guys again. We're just going to straighten those right up. First two set. And then you can grab them. A little wider again. And this time just move them back up. And just make sure again it's centered. Turn your X-ray. Wireframe. And top view. Go to the camera. Camera's always in the way. There we go. Just make sure everybody's where they need to be. So I'm just kind of make sure everybody's straight. So we have a basic joint happening now. So I'm going to group this all together, so Control and G. I'm actually just going to duplicate it because I might do something different for another section. I'm going to move him up into position now. Center pivot. Rotate him down 90 degrees. And this way 90 degrees. Now, we need to test this to make sure that it's where it needs to be. Again, I'm going to make sure that's kind of in the center here. This front and side view. And the easiest way to test elbows like this, especially with art surface things, it's really easy to do. You just grab all the pieces you want, see if they're going to move right and what it's going to hit and things like that. You just Control G, all but this guy. Leave these two little guys out. So you're just going to grab just the main mechanism that's going to move things around. Control G, insert, and you're going to put it right in the middle of that shoulder joint. Right about there. Insert again, and now you can grab your Move tool and Rotate tool. And you grab your X. And this way you can see if you need to lower it or bring it up or down. So this guy, he's going to need to come down, or we need to adjust the top part of armor. So that's how you guys can do a joint. Now you can add more stuff to that joint in there as well, just to fill it up with wires and things like that. But I'll let you guys do that on your own, because you guys can really do some cool things that you can learn from. Now this little guy, we're going to go up here, and we're just going to move these up a bit. And we're going to start shaping and sculpting this up a bit, kind of like we did for the forearm here. So let's do that. First thing I'm going to do is going to save again. So I'm going to save as. This is going to be part 8, I believe. And we're just going to convert back into regular polygon. And we're going to cut out some of the areas here as well so we can move around. Just again like we did before. But before I do that, I'm going to duplicate again. I'll probably be using some of those after. I'll go back to my original here. And delete some of those edges. And let's say delete this guy as well. I'm going to try it without adding those extra lines and see how it looks. So remember, I'm not going to just pull it from where it was before. I'm just going to move it around. This is going to get a little bit more of a nice rounded edge. See? So what we can do now is we duplicate this little guy one more time. He's going to come back over here. Oops. And move into a rough position that you like. And I'm going to delete some of these extra guys now. Grab these guys. Let's get rid of them. Let's just get rid of those little guys. And let's see, we can get rid of these guys. Basically what you're trying to do is just make some shapes that resemble what you see here in your image plane. I'm just going to convert this into subdivision real fast just to get the shape right. So I'm going to make sure that it comes just on the inside of those other planks that we have going there. So I'm just going to go grab these little fellas here and move them in. So I'm going to sit just on the inside there. F8. Convert back. Right click, select those faces again. Now we're not going to again add those extra lines because we want it to have a little bit more of a rounded look and polished look there. Again, extrude, center, push in just a little. And let's see how it looks. There you go. So we have newer look. And you can go back if you don't like having some of these sharp angles on your forearm plate there. You can just go in and delete those, or you can just redo them fast so you have this more rounded look again. And I just want to show you guys a couple different things, a couple different looks, so that you can get an idea of how to go about both of them. Now I'm just going to bring these guys out a little bit just to make that shoulder look a little bit fuller, a little bit more dimension to it. Now you see we have a couple of these little holes here as well. You can add a couple of those if you want. And these guys are pretty easy to do. You're just going to pick one of these faces here, just the face at the top here. Or you can do it in a different application if you're going to, say, like try to ZBrushing this character after. And you're just going to extrude in, put your about there, pop it back out just a little. G. Now we're going to push it in. And a little bit on an angle. G once again. And bring it in just a little. And we can go in there and see how this is going to look. And now we have a little area there. Now that's a little too squished in there, so we know not to go as sharp of an angle. So we're just going to redo that. I'm just going to push in straight now. G. And the last one we can pop in like so. And we have one of those little bumps. Now, if you have an area, see how this kind of flattens out a little bit too much there? You can just go in there, convert back. It's right here. Just add a new line right there, and that'll give you something. That'll help you smooth that area out. And that's going to be okay here because we want a nice line there as well. So again, it's a bunch of different options at this point when it comes to how much detail and where you want it. And I can just grab this little guy here. Just move it just slightly. Yeah, something like that. There you go. So come over here. Let's grab these good looking guys here. They're all nicely uniformed in that, so they look good. So now we can just bring that down again, just to add a little bit more of a wave to that section there. And you can even probably go out just a little bit this way. And if you want to counter that, you can go to this side a bit. And just push in. This is the type of things that you want to do after this. You follow the basic building of this tutorial. You go in there and have a lot of fun and a lot of different options. Alright. So looking at this arm, it looks a little bare in here. What you can do really quick just to spruce it up is just grab a cylinder. Let's just move this stuff out of the way now. You're going to go to inputs. And where C spans, you're going to bump it up to say even 10. Let's try 10. So you have lots of different little areas going back and forth. You're going to grab all and switch every other one. So you're going to select every other one. So you have something that looks similar to that. Now, if 10 don't work, let's try 11 just to give an odd number here. And then again, select every second one. Yeah, that works a little better. So go with odds on that one. And you just bring that in there like that. Actually, I'm having a hard time counting today. There we go. 1. Select. Let's see what's happening. It's nothing I'm doing wrong. I'm just selecting the one from behind. And there we go. So I'm just going to go to our front view, and that'll solve that problem. Side view. So one bad thing about hulls that I never liked is that you have to be careful of what you select. Sometimes you select the opposite guy. So I'm going to grab 1, 2, 3, 4. You can grab this little guy down here if you want as well. It doesn't really matter. It's going to be hidden. You see, we're just going to kind of make a accordion type shape here. You can grab this little guy, kind of bring it in. We can add an isoparm down here. Let's the hull up here. Squish it in. So again, this is just little things you can do just to give the model a little bit more things happening in it. So I'm going to make sure that you're centered on that horizontal piece. Move down. Like that. And that's a good area there. Just remember that that hand can move around as well when you're finalizing your work. I've got the innermost hull on the top area that you can see. And just going to push it in. Make this a little wider. See how much better that looks. Now, again, the possibilities are endless when it comes to just adding things. Alright. So let's just duplicate our new shoulder over here, over to the other side. So freeze transformation, or just actually Control G. Duplicate over. So we have that over there. Now let's make the gun. Gun is really easy to do. You're going to grab that shoulder joint that we made. You can actually grab the duplicate if you want. Duplicate. Now this shoulder is a lot higher up than the other little guy here. So we're going to have the single one up on top this time. And for this, let's see what it looks like without this piece of armor there. Yeah, that's better. So we can just get rid of that. I'm going to grab our new joint. Just going to kind of put it into position here. I'm going to grab this little guy. Yeah, center pivot on him. Insert. Down to our middle of both arms. Insert again. I'm going to rotate it just a little bit. And then you're going to grab these little guys. Actually, let's do that before we rotate it. Vertices, I'm just going to shrink it down a little bit because we're going to actually put some real shoulders in, probably in our last section, which will hopefully be next. And then to the fine, time-consuming stuff a little bit here. And if you want, you can grab this again that we just made, pull it over to this section. Sit in there like that. And we're going to change the shape of this little guy a bit here. Move that up. Make it a little wider, a little bit more like the image plane here. Okay, sky's the limit. What I can and can't do with this little guy now. So I'm going to make these guys a little wider up on top again. And then we're going to build our gun. Gun's really easy to do. You can just use a cube again. Create a gun's cube. Do its subdivisions, and we're going to go up to say 6 on each side. We'll make it a little bigger and see how that works for us. Okay. And again, see how I'm just using the image plane as a reference. I'm not matching it up exactly because it was always on that angle. I just want to make sure that I have the basics of what's going on in there. The gun. Again, I'm just going to start moving things up and around. Now, if that's too many faces for you, again, it's really easy to do in polygons just to get rid of some, just to lighten it up a bit. Say I don't want all of these ones going up and down actually. Just grab some these set of lines and just shift select over top of them. Delete. Straighten these little fellas up. We've got a lot on the side here we don't need. Grab these guys, and then we can finalize our gun shape a bit. We go underneath, select these guys, extrude, and just a little. G, press down, G again, and one last time. Now we're going to shift select, go back inwards, go in, G, up, oops, there we go, just to make the inside of the gun. All the bullets or ray gun or whatever he's going to be doing. We'll shoot from. There we go. Now we can convert this into sub D just to see how it's going to look. Again, it's not bad. It's a little blocky. And you can fix that if you want. It kind of sits up in here. Make it a little wider here. And convert. And we're going to grab these guys up here. Oops. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm just going to push in. Just make sure you only select those little guys. Once you get the basic shape, see how fast all of the stuff is coming together. And like I say, I'm doing this as a tutorial, so I'm not taking as much time as I usually do to plan certain things out. But you can see, hopefully start seeing that it's all about getting the basic shape. Even though this gun looks really plain right now, just give me a second here and you'll really start seeing a lot of changes. Now I'm just going to hide everybody else right now because I just want to focus on the gun because he's in the right position for the most part. Just going to shift select everybody, hide selection. Now I can go into my views. I'm just going to make sure I grab the right ones here. There we go. So what I can do now is I can start changing the shape a bit. Make it a little bit rounder on one end. Just grab these guys on that side. Just make sure that I grab them all. Grab our cut face tool. And a nice straight line right about there. Grab the whole new line that you built. A little closer. Now you're going to duplicate it. You're just going to grab a couple of these pieces that you made. Shift select. Delete. Extrude. I'm going to go out a little. Let's see how that looks. Back in the position. Convert. This needs to be tightened up a bit. So again, convert back. Grab the cut face tool. Just going to make sure that these guys are nice and straight up on top. Yeah, convert again. And just play around with it now. If it's too big, you just redo it, make it so it's not extruded as much. And you can just shrink it down a little. And you can duplicate again. Put it first. And just grab. Grab the cut face tool just to add a little bit of support. Top and bottom. And side. And side. Cut faces. Position. And you're just going to mold it to that shape right there. Actually, just bring the whole thing down. There you go. And you can grab this shape and just move that over. So it's sitting just resting on top of that other area there. And there you have it. So bring back everybody. And just move him that way. So just like we did before, you've got to make sure that that's going to be able to move and pivot. So we're going to raise this up a bit, just this area right here, because I think he's going to twist up from here. You want to test that out. Let's grab this again. Control G. Insert. Insert again. Let's see, it's still going to hit a bit. Just put this at 90 degrees. Minus 90 actually. We will know what we need to move and change now. Might even be easier just to move this. And can just move it around just so that nothing's going to hit if you go to enemy. Alright, so that'll pretty much do it for this section. Again, there's not much more as far as technique shows you. It's just showing you how to go about building the last little parts. In the next section, which hopefully will be, again, pretty close to our last, we're just going to add some shoulder joints in there because these guys kind of floating there. So we're going to add some kind of like gear thingies. We're going to be poking into his shoulder area right here. And then we'll get into the legs really quick, and that should do it. Again, pretty easy to figure out how to add all of these little knickknacks and that you guys can do on your own. So I hope you guys again are learning a lot and having fun, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Till then, have fun.